Hey, this is Kevin from Kevin's Barbecue Joints, and in this episode, I get a chance to talk to Mauro Chiefari. I'm definitely pronouncing it incorrectly, and he's told me, and he tells us in the interview, that most people call him Max. So, an interview with Max, who currently works at Franklin BBQ in Austin, Texas, the Franklin BBQ. This is a really cool one. He's from Italy. We talk about his time in Italy, coming to America, coming to America, and then making his way to Texas, to Austin, Texas, working at Kerlin BBQ with Bill Kerlin. Talk about that time. Talk about his epiphany, which was at Franklin BBQ, like a lot of people, and then wanting to get into the barbecue business and learn about the barbecue world, and so that's when he got a job at Kerlin BBQ, and then from there we talk about his journey, his camper, really interesting. They're all really interesting stories. And then how he got a job at Loro in Austin, which got him the job at Franklin BBQ. And it's a great story. And we talk about his different projects that he's going to be working on that are barbecue related, that are kind of documentary related, which I think you guys are going to find really cool. It's a great interview. Thanks, Mauro, Max, for taking the time. I know you guys are going to enjoy this. And I'm stoked to have the Smoke Sheet on board as the sponsor for the podcast. It's just a great resource. You sign up at bbqnewsletter.com. It was started by Ryan Cooper, barbecue tourist, and Sean Ludwig, NYC barbecue, who both have a wealth of knowledge, both travel around a lot, write about barbecue. They put this newsletter together to offer that information to everyone else. You should definitely follow both of them on their social medias because they're going to awesome places, and it's definitely well worth it. So that's BBQ Tourist, at BBQ Tourist, and at NYC BBQ. But the Smoke Sheet is great. It's a weekly newsletter. Just go to bbqnewsletter.com and sign up. Simple to sign up. The Smoke Sheet is a weekly newsletter that is chock full of information with barbecue joint openings and closings. And if a barbecue joint's opening a second location, they have that, and just news within the barbecue world, as well as links and information for podcasts and YouTube stuff, all barbecue joint related, as well as a barbecue recipe of the week that is curated by them. It's just a wealth of information. You're going to love it. I've been on board since day one, and I read it from cover to cover or scroll to scroll, however you want to do it. It's really, really worthwhile. Again, that's bbqnewsletter.com. The Smoke Sheet, barbecue news worth consuming. And if you're digging these, please subscribe. That way you don't miss out on anything. Also, comment below. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if there's anybody else that I'm missing that you might want to hear from, because I love reaching out to all these wonderful people in the barbecue world. It's a great family of barbecue people, and I've just loved this from the get-go doing this. So let me know. I also have a website at kevinsbbqjoints.com with links on my podcasts and YouTube stuff and barbecue joint visits and butcher shop visits and sausage making facilities and tons of other information. But thanks so much. Enjoy this. Well, let's jump back a little bit to, well, first off, pronounce your name properly for people so they know.
Okay, for the gringo, I am Max.
Okay.
But my real name is Mauro, and my last name is Chiefari, which everybody pronounce Mauro Chiefari. But I'm pretty good with that.
So. That's actually how I was going to pronounce it.
Yeah. It's that's fine.
And you were born in Italy.
I was born in Italy. Yeah, born in Italy, in the north of Italy. And then because my mother was from the north, my father from the south. Usually people do the other way around. My mother from the north went to the south. Usually people from the south go to the north.
But did you have a history of, were you guys cooking a lot of like open fire? Were you guys cook? Was that in your background, or did you go to culinary school in Italy?
I think I did a little bit of both, because in my father's side they're all builders. In my mother's side they have restaurant owner and butchers.
Oh.
So
okay.
My grandfather, my great grandfather were all butchers. So they probably gotta be in my gene at some level.
Yeah,
somehow.
For sure.
Yeah, and I start moving my first step in my uncle and aunt restaurants, cooking pizza, kind of typical Italian stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to this academy, Voltiero Marchese, in the north of Italy, which is a high-end cuisine.
Okay.
I work in this 2 Michelin star restaurant in Sicily.
Oh, wow.
In Ragusa Ibla Il Duomo for Chef Ciccio Sultano for a bit. And then, I move forward, and but I work in New York for Serafina from 2000, because I lived in New York for 4 years. yeah, something like 2007. Yeah, moved in the States in 2007, and I
Okay.
worked in those restaurants, and I was start cooking meat, grilling and stuff, playing around with it.
But you weren't thinking about doing what you're doing right now. That wasn't.
No, I didn't know much about barbecue, honestly, because outside of Austin, outside of Texas, there is some barbecue, but it's not a big deal. I never had a great barbecue that I said, man, I would like to learn that. It had happened about 3, 4, yeah, maybe 4 years ago, when I moved to Austin. Like, yeah, I was just a tourist. I was tired of New York, and I was hired by the Four Seasons to go to work as a normal chef. In their process of hiring process, it took us so long, and I would start going around, and I had, I got to have Franklin BBQ, and on the very sidewalk of that Franklin BBQ, I took my stuff to go. Man, I had the brisket, and really, I was, whoa, what is this?
Yeah, it's something
What?
different. Yeah.
As soon as I started researching what is this brisket, and then there was a whole new world opened up to me. I said, man, I really like to do that. And I was going to, after Franklin, because many people just come from overseas, from outside of Austin. They just try Franklin, that's it, and they walk out.
For sure.
They walk away.
Yeah.
I've insisted. I continue to learn all the different styles, different barbecue, and I went all over.
What places do you remember going to?
I went to Terry's Black. I went to, back then, I went to La Barbecue. I went to Kerlin BBQ. All this kind of known place that
Yeah.
they had good barbecue, different style, and they were kind of very similar, slightly different, but I started to have an understanding of what Texas barbecue was about, and then I discovered La Carte, this kind of old style, and all sort of things. And I started, what? I thought, going to this place, I said, man, maybe I see myself doing this, And I applied to everyone. My barbecue resume was like, I had a chef jacket, a white hat, and I applied for barbecue. Now, you do this in a barbecue in Texas, they're not going to hire you.
No.
And then I applied for Bill Kerlin, and at that moment, he was in need of a guy, and for a stage, say, I don't want to get paid, I just want to learn, and then everything started from Bill Kerlin. He really teach me everything. I was so eager, so hungry of information and stuff.
Can you talk a little bit about Kerlin BBQ? Because people probably have heard the name, but not everyone has gone there, and I know that people should be going there.
Yeah, man, Kerlin BBQ has a great product, and it's I think it's the most underrated place in
I agree.
In Austin. It is a super fast, extremely super fast service. So if you don't want to wait and do in line, it's extremely fast. Top quality. They use Prime. They have Emily's make this great kolache, breakfast kolache. Which are just delicious. And yeah, I think it's a great place. Did a trailer.
Yeah.
He was thinking in kind of buy a new one. Now is. He just did the 50 years anniversary. Business is doing great. He always tell me that he doubled his business. I mean, he's moving forward. He's pretty successful at what he does.
What were you doing there? Were you trimming briskets? Were you cutting?
So I was complete green about barbecue, but I was willing to learn. So I had a good attitude. Back then, at that period, he was doing the kolache trailer. He was just fixing it and doing the kolache trailer. And we had different passion in common with Bill. We both like Harley Davidson. I ended up buying a Harley Davidson with him. Yeah, we were going to road trip and stuff with him, and pretty much
cool.
Bill Kerlin was really my only friend. I didn't have friends in Austin, and still is one of my best friends.
Yeah.
So I spent so much time in that place, trimming, cooking. Learning how to do the fire, seasoning, and then wait for the brisket to go in a camber, all the 9 yards, which is almost went out 4-hour process. And I said, man, I'm paying. I used to live in Hyde Park back then. I said, man, I'm paying $1,200 a month. I barely make this money here. Can we see an agreement? Can I live here or something? You have something. So, man, yeah, buy your trailer, you park over here, you can live here. So, all right. Let's do it. Went to San Antonio, we grabbed a trailer, 1961 Shasta, a piece of shit, really piece of shit. On the day of Christmas, I was fixing my trailer, and Bill said, You wanna come join us?" Then, "No, man, I gotta fix trailer. In 3 days, I gotta have no house. I need this shit to get going." And yeah, we fixed this trailer, and actually, I sold the trailer. I remember I paid $3,600, and I sold it for $7,500.
Wow, good for you. Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty sweet. I was so proud about that trailer. It looked sharp, looks cool.
Have you seen it
Yeah,
around at all? Like, did you see the trailer ever again?
it's
Or
probably somewhere in San Antonio.
what was the genesis of the idea that you want to document what you're doing and then move on to other locations and then also other countries?
So what happened was this. It was pretty much, barbecue is usually is a long cook and stuff like that. And I used to live there, so I had pretty much no day. I was 24/7 always there, and I was doing barbecue for Bill, cooking for Bill, and I was experimenting myself, learning different, how pretty much I was very intrigued how the fire react with the meat and so forth, action reaction, those kind of things. I was pretty much always playing around with with those brisket. I was kind of this nerdy guy, always playing around, and people would stop saying, "You guys open?" "No, no, I'm just playing around with the pit," So one day I start making this a live Facebook video with my iPhone 5, and that just did because I was bored. Man, everybody in Italy freaked out. Wow, what this guy's doing over there? Holy shit, And I said, "Who? The people are interested." And I started making this tutorial. Of course, Bill knew it. He was okay with it. He didn't care. That's why I like Bill so much, because I said, "Yeah, man, do whatever you want. It's all it's all good advertisement. You're cool. Yeah, let's do it." So he liked it, and because Facebook is so strong in Italy, not much YouTube, not much Instagram at all, but Facebook is very strong in Italy. I started making this. This Facebook video, and eventually then I moved on YouTube. But still, Facebook to this day is the main social
That's kind
network
of
in
interesting.
Italy.
Yeah, I didn't know
because
that.
it's very interactive. People love to fight on Facebook. To have an agreement, and I will post I don't know, a tutorial how to do a brisket, and the whole fucking fight will start. How you do this, you do that, oh Jesus,
You started little wars.
Yeah, I started little wars how to do it, because over there they have the barbecue was picking up, but was competition barbecue, which is a different animal.
It's
about
the early days of gotcha.
What we do. And then there were all these people that make it so technical, so difficult. They say it's not easy, it's not an easy job, but you have to follow those pillars, where all the barbecue scenario lied on it, and you have to do that few steps right, and then but there is not much things involved. And
now, what was your next step? Was it getting a job with Aaron, or how did you?
Now, it was, I loved it working there. I really was in a place where I enjoy working there. The great relationship with Bill. But then, at some point, your circle gets to an end where I'm more interested in learning, So as soon as I get something, kind of not 100%, but as soon as I have a good picture, I lose interest. That's always something about my personality.
Yeah.
And I was working there very intensely for some good time over there, and I just want to move forward. Then I went to Bob Chop Steakhouse, to work a little bit there. But yeah, I worked a little bit, see what it was. It wasn't really what I want to do. Then, because I was so intrigued about the kind of hot and fast kind of method, I worked for a minute at Cooper's, in downtown Austin on Congress.
Okay.
So over there, I had to go in Italy because I have a lot of stuff going on also in Italy. I have rental property I have to take care. So unfortunately I had to leave for a minute to go in Italy, take care of my stuff. Then I come back. I did the Memphis in May. The barbecue competition, the Memphis in May. In my way back, I had this kind of, I would say, three options. I applied to John Lewis in Charleston. I applied to Rodney Scott, and I applied to Loro. And
three of the best in the country.
Yeah. In the meantime, I just give up applying to Franklin because this guy didn't care. That didn't, they just it was a waste of time to me. Say, it's not gonna happen. And I said, okay, let's see who's gonna reply. So I had an interview with a phone interview with the human resource guy of John Lewis. I had a exchange of email with Rodney Scott, and then a Loro. Say, man, I'm here. The guy who gonna tell me, yes, come over and work, I'm on it. And it happened. That happened in Loro. For me, it was kind of convenient because Loro was right in Austin,
Yeah.
and they had to move. I said, okay, let's start. Let's do a Loro. But back of my mind, there was this. Well, Aaron Franklin is there. Maybe
Yes.
someday you're gonna meet him. At Loro, I met great people. Loved it. I loved to work there.
It was just as Laura was starting, right?
Yeah, it was right on, right on. Yeah, it was maybe probably a few months, a good month. And over there, I met Bram from the pit room in Houston. That he was pretty much the head guy
Yeah.
about the barbecue kind of scene. JB, which is the manager, Yuma, which is the kind of sous chef, and Chef Taron Cole. And one day, I remember this particular day, I was chopping brisket, and say, hello, I'm Aaron Franklin. Holy shit. And I was talking to him, and my mind, I was kind of high. My brain wasn't connected with my words. I said, hello. kind of,
Yeah, well, it's like talking to like that
wow. You know
guy.
how
Yeah.
Aaron is. It's kind of, hello, I'm Aaron Franklin. And I said, holy shit. Wow, that's kind of cool. And I don't know, he was at that period, I don't know right now, but back then, he was pretty much almost every day over there because, they have to get going and this
Yeah.
and that. And it happened to be there always when I was starting seasoning brisket and doing stuff and this stuff. So one day I just told him, listen, Aaron, I really would like to work for you. I apply a zillion times. Oh, really? I didn't know about that. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. And then pretty much happened. Yeah.
When was that? Was that 6 months ago or?
Now it's about a year ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Through was working between the two is about a year.
Okay.
Between Loro and the shifting. I can't recollect pretty much right now exactly.
What was it like that first day that you went over to Franklin BBQ?
Well, the first day I was it just blow my mind away. Say, well, how many cooking, how many brisket you guys are cooking today? Well, there's okay, not too many, 105. Holy shit. Wow.
That's like
It's
a
okay.
week for some people.
Yeah, it's 105. It's good, Hey, maybe we get 120. We kind of have to play around with it, but 105 is we have plenty of room. Okay, I guess I'm on it. Yeah, it was. The training was super hard because it was so hot. That's the heat, and I couldn't even bitch about it, the heat, because they had a new smokehouse, which is the ceiling is much higher. So all this older guy will tell me, you had to be here a year ago.
Yeah, I heard it was
was
really,
even
really
worse. Was even worse. So it's like it's like complaining with my father because I was working too much. Oh, when I was kid at your age, I used to wake up in the morning, walk 100 miles. I say, okay, Dad, okay,
exactly
okay.
barefoot. Yeah.
Yeah, therefore, so yeah, I couldn't even complain about it. But yeah, it was a hard training. It was a very hard training. I picked it up kind of quick because I was already into it, And then
What was it? Did it feel different than Kerlin or any other place that you worked at? Did it feel?
that's a very good question. The single thing that I think that I really start thinking about it, Franklin, it was the fire management. I never work in other place where the fireman they take so much care about the fire.
Okay.
It's a real as a particular way of the fire. The rest, honestly, it was pretty similar. Slightly different here and there, but the main focus, and especially because I started doing keep. Keep is you pretty much you season and you put the brisket on and you go ahead for a quarter of the cook and then somebody else will continue.
Okay.
In that beginning, and this is the most physical because, you got to season this 100 brisket, you grab it, put it on the smoker, it's very physical.
Mm-hmm.
So if you cannot do that, probably you're going to survive.
Yeah.
If not, that's it.
Yeah.
And now I do a little bit of cutting, a little bit night cook. I finish up the cook and I start the cooking brisket. Yeah.
So you cut on the line too?
Yeah.
How's that?
Much,
Is that interesting?
Yeah.
Because
That's super cool. That's we have two cutter in the Franklin. We have the one in the trailer, which is all pre-order. Let's say you have to go order more of 5 pounds of meat.
Oh, that's true.
And that is super crazy fast because people are gonna be there on a specific time, and sometimes we have probably maybe a week or 10 days, couple of weeks of waiting list for people to go there. So it's also an experience for them because they reserve so much ahead. They're paying a lot of money because they're getting a lot of meat.
But they're not seeing you cut. They're just picking up, right?
No, yeah, they're not picking up. In the front, instead, is a lot of
Yeah.
small order. It's a lot of talking. You gotta get going. But people realize that there are a lot of people behind them. So, if you're an exchange of, say, hi, how are you? Oh, that's cool. And then pretty much.
But it's also interesting. I always think about the fact that people wait so many hours
Yeah.
just for that moment, and so it's a very special moment to those people while they're there because it's that final moment of being there, seeing the food cut, and then get it's a as the
I always, Kevin, I always get amazed by the fact that I start my shift, when I cook in the morning at 7, and people, I can tell they're way earlier than me, over there. And this, it really, for someone who likes his job and stuff, it really affects you because how much trust they're putting on me. I mean, you felt the kind of pressure of doing well, and I'll guarantee you, when you are sweating your ass off and you're doing 100 brisket, it's really easy to trick your mind and say it doesn't matter. It's Franklin BBQ, will be okay. But I'm not even bullshitting you. Everybody that knows me, I know I'm a pretty straightforward guy. But that kind of responsibility that we all carry, it helps you to keep it
That's
going
true.
straight, to have a high, to shoot for a very high quality. The cutters do the same. That's what it's a very good team of people that really felt the responsibility.
That's it. That's really interesting. That
uh,
makes sense psychologically.
yeah,
It keeps you
yeah,
focused.
because every morning then you see the line, because while you're loading the brisket in the morning, you see this line and going forever. And then people come from Australia, and I do a lot. They make fun of me because I'm Italian, I like to talk. I'm a very empathic guy, and so in the morning we do this pit tour. And my pit tour, they last forever. I like to talk because I really like this thing of sharing things, the sharing information about barbecue and this and that. And they say, man, you're not a pit master, you're a tour master. Because I really like to share with people, give the best experience ever. It's really important for me.
That's amazing. So what's the future plans?
The future plans, I'm really intrigued with. Beside Texas barbecue, I'm really intrigued of this kind of bridge, I will say, that goes from Texas all over the world. So, and maybe I feel that because I'm not from Texas. So people from Texas, maybe they take it for granted, you know. But what they're doing is something amazing. They can go on an international scale, and people they're getting very interesting. It's a very kind of, it can be a tool for a cool cultural exchange.
That's smart.
Uh, and I noticed this. So when I went back after I worked for a minute at Cooper's, I went back in Italy. I felt that man, people just, oh wow, this guy from Texas. I felt cool, man. I felt like wow. Ooh. And I did that, what I call the Italian tour. I was doing pops up all over. They were very friendly. I didn't make any money out of it, but I was just, I want to share, what I learned and this and that. I was just amazing. Now, after that, kind of, I started doing these pop ups all over. I met so many friends. That's the thing. Because people from barbecue, passionate about barbecue, can be a doctor, can be a
Oh,
construction, they
without
can
that.
be whoever. And I met just so many people just because of barbecue. It wasn't because of barbecue. I wouldn't know this guy. And today they are in my friend list because of barbecue. And I just love the thing. I'm very fascinating about Latin America kind of grilling. You
Yes.
know, this is there was always this thing about me, and I think I'm going to this event. You guys look it up. It's called the Churrascada.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
It's this great event. I'll probably be there. I have to figure out a time frame that I can escape from Texas and just go back. I'll figure that out. But I really would like to go.
When's
I
the
really
date
would
of
like
that?
to go. There is one in April, beginning of April, one beginning of June, and
Oh.
the other one is the 3rd of August.
Oh, I didn't know there were multiple ones.
There are multiple ones. One is in São Paulo, and the other one I can't recollect now. And then, an example, yesterday we were at Bangers with this guy Mario Valle from Brazil. He's a muy gringo. You look on Instagram, muy gringo. And this guy, he fished the fish from the Amazon, and he grilled it. You go look at what this fish look like.
I'll have to,
Amazing, amazing. It's open his third restaurant. You know, and barbecue evolved in so many different angle and aspect, and sometimes we just get so caught up in our technicalities, because being a nerd, I
Yeah.
don't technicaling all the brisket, and you don't see what's around you. But what's around you usually is amazing, and then as a personality thing, people tend to be more private, about it. I just like sharing. I can engage in a conversation for brisket for hours.
Do you think
What
you'll be moving there eventually? Is that
I like this kind of consulting and sharing my thing. I think that Texas always has a place in my heart. I don't think I can live for an extensive period of time away from Texas. I just love Texas people. I really like Texas so much. You know, you will ask me in New York. New York to stay a little bit, but I never felt so much in love. It's too crazy of a city for me. It's more for my personality. Texas, it really is home for me.
when you had talked about off camera before we started? You had talked about working on a project, a film project. Is that something that you're working on the side as well?
So I figure that because I was in Texas, so I can experience real, true Texas barbecue, and it's just my personality. I get to know a lot of people, from different barbecue, and I'm really intrigued in their style of cooking. Doing the same thing pretty much in a different way. And because of the video, I get to go in Italy, in any other country, and I really like this. As I told you,
Yeah.
this sharing thing. Say why I'm gonna go and document this my experience abroad. So it will be Texas barbecue,
Okay.
and the way the butcher cut the meat, and the kind of cut that they use it. Then go in Italy, which is a complete different way. We used to, we use brisket to make soup.
Yeah, that's
So
true. That a lot of
yeah,
places do that. Yeah.
you know, and so going over there, I have a lot of friends in Italy, and I have this guy who is a filmmaker, a pretty good filmmaker in Italy. He's in the Rai, which is the so in Italy they have some channel owned by the government, some other channel owned by Berlusconi and private parties.
Okay.
So I know this guy, and this guy happened to love barbecue. And he told me, so wow, I like what you're doing. Why don't you do a little bit better quality, more organized? And I told him my project, and this sounds cool. Maybe going Brazil. This guy sharing his Texas experience, and this other guy teaching me, how to do churrasco, foco de chao, all this kind of things.
Great.
And yeah, I have this thing going, and it will be pretty easy gear. It will consist just a guy following me with the camera, and I can tell a little bit of my story.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure it will be interesting because there's so much confusion about, people over here take it for granted, but outside of the United States, outside of Texas, there is a lot of confusion with competition, what they do, what they this and that,
Oh, yeah.
it would be cool to clarify also how the competition guys do stuff, and how, see, I was talking with this guy in Peru, who is pretty much the pioneer now in smoking meat. And yeah, we're gonna do a show over there. They're gonna be the Betty. This guy, he was here, and he had the opportunity show him around in Lockhart, Franklin, show Terrace Black, all this great place, and another couple of friends in Italy. This guy from Blackett, and this guy from Phil's Barbecue. They came here to see how Texas barbecue, because they're always inspired by Texas,
For sure.
and then they fix it with their own style. I don't think it makes sense to, if you wanna reply the Texas style, you gotta use local product.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes sense that you're gonna import a mesh 16 from Texas in order to season your brisket in Italy. No, in Italy you get other seasoning, but a lot
Well,
of
there's a
people are
specific
doing.
palate in Italy too that you have to.
Yeah, also the flavor profile
Yeah.
change, and it's kind of interesting, intriguing, this way of doing things. And yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Yeah,
And I think that would
that's
be interesting too for people in America to see too. It's not. I don't think it'll just be perfect for people outside of the United States. I think it'll be interesting for us to see
yeah,
too. I think
yeah, and
so.
I think that because Texas people, they don't realize how people are interested outside of Texas about barbecue, and I'll guarantee you, they're very interested. They're
Hmm.
very interested.
And
Yeah,
also too, I think people in Texas sometimes don't realize how good they have it. When you live outside
yeah,
of
yeah,
Texas, in somewhere else in the United
yeah.
States,
It's like
I can't just
when
drive down the street to get good
see,
barbecue. It's not that easy.
my wife is American, and when she moved to Italy, for me, all this delicious food that we had, they were normal. You know what I'm saying? But what's for her, they would blow her mind
Yeah,
away
yeah.
because and I say, oh wow, that's that. Yeah, you're right. That's pretty good. you know?
But it's like the best quality
Yeah, yeah,
ingredients that you could ever
yeah,
have. It's just we
yeah,
just
yeah,
it's yeah, that's and it's true probably for every region of
yeah,
every
yeah.
area.
Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
of
definitely.
course, of course,
So then, how
of
long?
course.
So so then you figure you'll probably be living you'll live in Austin and then
Yeah.
be doing these kind of satellite projects.
Yeah, I mean, as long as sustainable. So far, I love doing a Franklin. They put a lot of trust on me. I had a pretty quick scale of kind of cross training, this and that. I have a great relationship with Andy, which is pretty much the back of the house manager. You know, I give them full availability. Man, I sometimes I do back to back. I finish cook at 2 3 in the morning, and then I'll back there at 7 to cook to cut or cook again. I give my full availability.
That's great.
I made it clear. I never cared since day one. How much money I was making. I said for me it's an honor to be here, and I was making sure they knew that. But yeah, eventually I had to continue doing my part. But in every restaurant that I went, well, almost every restaurant I went, I have a great relationship with the management and with the owner. So for me, it's very important, not the money and the stuff that you're doing while you're there, but the relationship that you give
That's smart.
after.
That's a good
So
advice.
yeah, I'm always drive, and I always honored to have. Let's put it this way: if shit happened to me right now, the first guy who I call is Bill Kerlin,
Sounds like it.
because we had a great relationship. He's a friend of mine. I respect him a lot. It was an exchange, of friendship that we had through the years, and I really like to talk a Loro, JB Brown. I'm still talking to this day. I explained clearly. See, listen, Franklin Barbecue is really what I want to do. Barbecue is my thing, and I was trying to be as nice as possible in the living process. I was making sure that we'll hire someone.
Hmm.
I could just give my 2 weeks notice and goodbye. But I don't like to do this because it's more important to keep a good relationship after you leave the place.
That's so smart. And
Yeah.
here's a question I've never asked anybody, but because you work at Franklin, what's a good day? People always ask me, what's a good day to go that the line won't be as long? Is there any day that you could
It's
recommend?
more. It's not a good day. It's a matter of luck. So if you sometime if you showed up at 2 p.m., in the week, 2 p.m., they might have all the food and there are a few people in line. But you know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of luck. Some other day, totally unexpected. We have a big ass long line. Some other days we don't. It's not very constant. But
There's not like a day like a Wednesday. If you come a Wednesday morning, it's going to be
tendentially, what I noticed, because walking through, when I walk through at 7 in the morning, I can tell you that in Wednesday, not every Wednesday people are waiting at 5 in the morning over there.
yeah.
I can tell you that. So tendential is a little bit lower, but the real thing is I hate waiting in line. So I taught myself to wait in line in Austin because somehow people love to wait in line.
Yeah,
But
it's a thing.
as an Italian, we just can't handle it. We had to find a way to switch around, and we cannot wait in line. It's just Italian airport, they're cows because nobody wants to wait for their shit. That's how we're built. It's in our so and I went my very first time at Franklin. Yeah, it was like a Wednesday around 2 p.m. and the line was a little bit by the door, a little bit further by the door, and I waited maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a lucky one.
Yeah, I try to tell people that it's part of the experience, and that if they want to do
Yeah,
it,
yeah, no, but it's totally part of the experience. I think it goes 50%, 50%,
yeah.
and it's totally part of the experience.
But if you've already
And
been there, before and experience the line, then it's good. You can like pop in like around 2 o'clock and see if they
Yeah, I
still have
mean,
food. Yeah.
because the smokehouse is on top and the people in line on the bottom. So they seems to this guy have fun, you know. You know what I'm saying? They're not like this
No, they're
looking
not
at the
sad.
what
They're not.
they're no, they're just, you know, over there chilling, and yeah, they seem to have a lot of fun.
Well, Max, thank you, and I'm going to call you Max because it's easier.
Yeah,
Max,
yeah, that's I figured
thank
that.
you so much for your. Is there anything else that people should know about you, and how to get? What are the best ways to follow you?
But well, best way to follow me, I'm starting picking up on Instagram and YouTube, pretty much sharing my content on YouTube, the longer video that I do on YouTube, which is Texicana BBQ,
Hmm.
is Instagram, YouTube. I have my main thing is like my Facebook profile, which is
Okay.
my name, Mauro Chiefari, and I also have a Facebook page. But yeah, the main thing is Mauro Chiefari, my personal profile, which pretty much I do. I publish all my stuff that I do, and then yeah, Texicana barbecue. And but another thing that we gotta share is my friend Willie over here.
Okay.
So I always carry this bobblehead. It's so important for me
Okay.
because this guy has a story. Uh, Pretty much one day I remember. I don't remember exactly. I cannot recollect when, but so Aaron and Emily, they were so sweet about it. Sorry, Bill, Carolyn, and Emily. They give me this diploma, this certificate, and say, "Congratulations, you're a pit master now." Because I managed, without knowing, I managed the whole cook by myself. I
Oh
was
wow.
trimming, managed the whole cook by myself, and then they give me this. So this reminds me when I kind of, I say, okay, I get it. I can manage the whole cook by myself. So I say,
Does
yeah,
does Willie come with you on your journey sometimes?
always, always, always. My video there was always when I was doing, because I was making this video, and I figured the barbecue profile in Italy, and I call it psychopath of barbecue because they were really crazy about it. And then with Willie, it's kind of funny bobblehead,
Yeah, yeah, that's
which is
cool.
the guy from Duck Dynasty. It's not Willie Nielsen. It's just
It's not
that
Willie
guy.
Nelson, I know.
No, yeah, it's from Duck
But
Dynasty.
even if it was Willie Nelson, it would still it would kind of make
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. Everybody thinks it's Willie Nielsen, but yeah.
That's cool. Well, thank you so much, and it's really an exciting story and really an interesting story, and I'm glad we got a chance to talk. And I was seeing you on the periphery doing things, and I'm like, who is this guy? What is he up to? Like I was so curious,
Yeah,
and I think
yeah.
a lot of people probably are.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, thank you so much for your time, and I really enjoyed this conversation. It was,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I'll hit you up when I'm in Austin. I'll be there in a couple months, so we'll
yeah,
hang
sure,
out.
man, sure,
Excellent.
man, sure, man.
Have a great day.
All right,
All right, you take care.
you too, man. Bye.